Most VA buyers think that the hard part comes after the inspection. It doesn't. It starts the moment that you write the offer. Hi, I'm Betty Gonzalez. I'm an Army veteran and a real estate agent right here in Florida. So if you're using your VA loan or you're planning to in a competitive market, your offer structure determines whether the deal moves smoothly or whether you spend the next 30 days fighting uphill. In the last video, I showed you how a VA deal almost fell apart during an inspection, but here's the part that most people miss. That deal only survived inspection because it was structured correctly from the very beginning. So let's talk about how to make a VA offer competitive without removing your protections. First, understand this. A VA offer is not weaker, it is misunderstood. So when agents don't understand it, they default to fear. Your job is to remove that fear before it becomes resistance. There are three things that make a VA offer strong in a competitive market, and those are price strategy, appraisal positioning, and inspection clarity. So let's start with price. In a competitive area, like parts of South Florida, offering under asking on an already tagged property rarely works. That doesn't mean that you overpay blindly. It means you understand the numbers before you submit the offer. You need to know what will it likely appraise for, what is the true market range, and are you willing and able to bridge that gap if it comes in low? Here's what serious VA buyers do differently. They decide their appraisal strategy before they write the offer, not after. That leads to the second piece, appraisal positioning. When VA loan allows you to pay above appraised value, that surprised a lot of people, but you must communicate that correctly. If the listing agent assumes that you have zero flexibility because it is a zero down loan, you've already lost leverage. So instead of saying nothing, your offer should clearly state if the property appraises below purchase price, buyer agrees to pay up to X amount above appraised value. That changes the psychology immediately because it shows confidence and it removes uncertainty. And it tells the seller this deal won't collapse the moment the appraisal comes in. Now, here's where most VA buyers make a mistake. They think being competitive means waiving protections. No, it does not. Which brings us to inspection clarity. You never waive inspections on a VA loan and you never ignore major issues, but you also don't use inspection to renegotiate emotionally. There's a difference between safety concerns and cosmetic preference. And sellers respond very differently to each of them. So if you approach inspection strategically, not reactively, you maintain credibility. And credibility matters more than people realize. Here's the truth. In most comparative Florida markets, sellers are not rejecting VA loan because of the VA loan. They're rejecting uncertainty. If your offer introduces uncertainty, they move to the next one. If your offer reduces uncertainty, you become stronger, even against conventional financing. So let's simplify this. Before you write a VA offer, you should know what the property will likely appraise for, how much, if any, you are willing to bridge, and how you will approach inspection if issues come up. If you don't decide on those three things up front, you are reacting instead of leading. And here's what matters. The strongest VA buyers don't sound defensive, they sound prepared. That changes the conversation with the listing agent before it even begins. And that also begins with your real estate agent. The VA loan does not handicap you. It is a tool like any tool. It only works if you know how to use it in a market that you're in. So if you haven't watched the previous video about the inspection issue that almost killed a VA deal, watch that one next because it shows what happens when these pieces aren't fully understood. And if you want to go one level deeper, the next video breaks down what actually happens when a VA appraisal comes in low and what your options are in that moment. That's where most VA buyers panic unnecessarily. So watch that one next, and I will see you inside that video. Bye.